You know what I love to see. You know what just fills me with the warm fuzzies deep inside? It's a company taking special care to market a lesser-known game or series. It's a company going out of their way, doing something a little bit extra to try a little bit extra hard to get this lesser-known IP in front of more people. And it shouldn't make me feel that happy because it should just be a given. It should just be a given that if you've got a lesser-known thing, you're gonna have to try a little bit more to get, think a little bit more outside the box to get eyes on it. And yet it is not treated like a given. And you will observe that in not every case will a company do anything extra to ensure that a lesser known thing might become a lesser known thing. But you gotta hand it to Nintendo. They're doing a really good job with the latest Famicom Detective Club game. They really are. Like, they are genuinely thinking outside the box. And I think that's really cool, especially because, it's a very obscure series. You talk about Nintendo series. I didn't even know this existed before they announced the re-releases of the other two games. I don't know if I had ever even heard the title before. We're talking very, very, very obscure, relatively small audience for this kind of thing. So when it came time to release a new game in this series, after however many millions of years, they were like, you know what, we gotta do a little something extra. We're not gonna just announce this in a direct and release it and that's it. And of course, they started with that "Who is Emio" teaser, got everybody talking. It was genius. Sure, I know I complained about how it was such effective marketing that it was almost disappointing when we knew what it was, because when you don't know what it is, it could be anything. It could just be absolutely anything. Your imagination goes wild. But beyond that very slight disappointment, obviously for the series, it was nothing but a good idea. It was nothing but a great idea. It effectively got so many eyes on this product. You advertise a game at face value, and people will take that as they will. Whoever is interested will be interested. But the way that they did it, they got people talking about it who might not be interested in it at first. I don't know. I don't have to go into the whole entire thing. We get that it was pretty genius. It was just so mysterious, and it got everybody for a few days talking about this new Famicom Detective Club game. We didn't know that's what we were talking about, but we were. It was very, very effective marketing. And apparently the game comes out in 10 days at the time of this recording, which is really fantastic. They teased it, and then it wasn't long before they officially revealed it, and then it was like a month or something, a little over a month before we actually got our hands on it. That's really cool. And now they're going a little bit further with that marketing. They're releasing a demo for the first chapter, but they're not stopping there. Today, the 19th, they are releasing Chapter 1, The Urban Legend. But then, in a few days, on the 22nd, we will get Chapter 2, Disappearance, followed by Chapter 3 on launch day, on the 29th, The Language of Flowers. So basically, this is kind of like 3 little demos, or, rather a demo split into 3 parts. And I think that this is genius. I think this is really clever. And I was looking around and wondering, how many games have given us demos in multiple parts? And, there have been some, there are examples out there. I think the most recent notable example, people were saying, the Final Fantasy VII had, multiple demos or something. And I know, Monster Hunter maybe had multiple I don't know. There have been demos with, content that kind of releases over time. Gosh, I remember way back in the day, Rayman on the Wii U, they had that whole ongoing challenge thing. That was really amazing. But for the most part, this does not happen very often. It's really not that common for a game to get multiple pieces of content released for free leading up to the full release. And And it's funny because like it's not a huge difference. Like really it is an extra step for them. This is extra stuff that, you know, the game has to be updated each of those days. It took some extra steps to make this thing the multi-step process rather than just throwing the demo on there, calling it good, saying if you pay full price on the day of release, then you can unlock the whole thing. This took a little extra work. But I feel like that little bit of extra work is probably going to go a long way. The reason I think this is so genius is because a demo is already just, it's a given that demos are great. You know, like if you have a good game, you know, maybe if you have a less good game or if you're less confident in your product, then yeah, maybe a demo. Some people will play it and say, yeah, I would love to buy this. Other people will be like, oh, apparently it's not for me. But like if you're confident in your thing, you really just want people to experience it. Obviously a demo is already very, very good. It's a very helpful thing. You know, you get people invested in the product, and if they, I mean, like I've done this before, you know, play a demo for something I'm not even 100% sure if I'm gonna like, and then you find yourself just playing the demo over and over again, and you're like, okay, well, I clearly love this. Like I'm becoming invested in this game before it even releases. So once it releases, like, yeah, of course I'm gonna get it. And that's what you want to do with any customers. You want to get them invested in your product or series of products in any way that you can. And the thing about people is repetition is absolutely key in developing, fostering loyalty. I just use the word loyalty, I guess. The more someone is exposed to something, whatever it is, the more it becomes kind of ingrained in their mind, the more attention that they give to it. You're forging those pathways in the brain if you want to get scientific about it. So if it's already beneficial to release a demo and get people invested so that they want to buy the full product when it comes out, I have to imagine that 3 separate chapters releasing every few days, I feel like that's got to be that much more effective. If I'm interested in this series, I download the demo and I play it and I go, hey, yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the first chapter. So then like 3 days from now, I download the next one. I'm enjoying that. Okay, well then I'm definitely going to download the final demo on the day of release. And now I have played through 3 chapters of this game. If I've enjoyed myself over the course of like 10 days, this game has been integrated into myself and my brain. So then I'm like, if I'm invested in the same way that you would be invested in a show or something, you know, after a handful of episodes, and you're like, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. There's no getting out of this now. I'm not gonna buy it. If I came back for all 3 of these little tidbits, then like, yeah, of course I'm gonna get the whole thing. And like, obviously you can't do this kind of thing with just any game. I mean, you like technically can. You can release multiple demos for a game if you like absolutely want to. But obviously it's very well suited to a game like this that is split up in chapters. I guess I don't know how many chapters the final release is gonna have, but it's the perfect format. And I think it's crazy that we haven't seen it more. I would say the closest that we've come to this kind of thing is back in like the, I don't know, like 2010s, 2010s or something, when everybody was doing episodic games. For some reason, all the big publishers just got it in their heads that they should release games episodically and like charge separately for them. And I don't know how that worked out for them. I hated it. I absolutely despised it. It was just dumb. I'm just gonna wait. Maybe I'll play the first chapter or whatever, just if it's like free, but like I'm just gonna wait till the whole game comes out. And I think they finally understood that. So that was a little bit like this. Yeah, it's just surprising we haven't seen more of it. And because it's so rare, even though it seems like it makes sense to me, but it's actually quite rare. And because of that, this is another example of fairly outside the box marketing. So really, Nintendo has employed 2 quite novel tactics to market this, their newest Famicom Detective Club game, one of the most obscure series that they have. But it's almost like because of that, because it's so obscure and because they really want more people to play it, they really gave it their all. They did a lot for it. They did 2 novel things to market this game. And I think that's really interesting. And I think it's really cool. Will it ultimately have an impact on the sales of this game? I don't know. I guess we really can't know. I have to imagine that it will. This whole demo thing, it will net at least some extra sales. I really don't know how much, you know, at the risk of going off on the whole old tangent about how Nintendo prices their games. You know, I don't know how long this game is going to be. I know the original games were not very long at all. $50 is a really big ask, but I don't know, whatever. I guess that's all a whole discussion in and of itself. But hey, I'll probably try out the demo. I'm talking about it right now. I'm getting interested. Maybe I'll stream it. Let me know if that sounds fun. Streaming the demo or something. I don't know. I mean, like, come on, it's free. It's free. Comes out every couple days. It's cool. It sounds fun. And based on the ESRB rating, apparently it's gonna be real spooky. It's gonna be real dark. Lots of scary, mean, bad themes in there. So send the kids to bed. And that's despite the fact that he smiles. See, that's how it gets you. That's your false sense of security. He's smiling, so you think, happy man. But then he kills you. And that's the kicker. It's the bait and switch. He smiles at you and then he stabs you or something. Ooh.